Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. You know, I was like hanging out in hats, and my hair's getting rock and roll long. It sort of reminds me of the old days at Hammerjacks back in the day, and a bunch of rock and roll friends. But I got friends all over the city. We've had people coming on that from museums and various businesses and all sorts of medical folks. And when I thought of medical folks, because we've had presidents of universities on, we've had presidents of hospitals on, I thought, you know what? I'm going to have Pepper Mintz on because she's been my friend for a long time and helped me with my mom's needs towards the end of my mom's life. And we talk about pharmacies and medical equipments and essential things. And I was pretty sure Northern Pharmacy was in the city, but I thought county. I saw 6701 Arthur Road. I'm like, is that city or county? She's like, no, we're in the city. And I'm like, well, we're Baltimore Positive. So I'm going to bring Pepper Mintz on. First thing, Pepper Mintz, is when I told my friend that your name was Pepper Mintz. They're like, that's not a real name, is it? I think it's a real name, but I've never asked her, you know, amidst all the rock and roll shows and medical stuff and our friendship through these years. Pepper Mintz is your real name, Pepper Mintz. It is, right?
It is my real name. It was a nickname when I was a kid. The Pepper part was, and when I was older, I actually legally changed it. Yeah.
What was your birth name?
So my birth name was Karen, so Karen Mintz. So my legal name now is Pepper Karen Mintz. So I didn't get rid of my birth name.
Did anyone ever call you Karen ever at any point in your life?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All my childhood friends still call me Karen. My father will slip up. My sister will call me Karen. People still call me Karen.
See, I had a nickname when I was a kid, and like the kids in my neighborhood call me Jody. Until I was 7 or 8, and I didn't like it. So
why would they call you Jody?
Because that's what my middle name was Joseph. Is right. So it was sort of a nickname that I hated.
Yep.
So I mean, I just hated it. I still hate it. I'm 52, and no offense to anybody. I've had Jodys on the show. I know some. Just it wasn't for me. You know what I mean? Was Karen not for you?
So it started when I was a kid, and you might just be old enough to remember Policewoman.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Angie Dickinson.
Sure.
Well, her name was Pepper on the show, and I swore I was going to be a cop. That's all I wanted to be when I was a kid.
Oh.
So someone was like, oh, Pepper Mintz, and started calling me that when I was young. It went away for a very long time and then came back as a nickname somehow.
You said to me, why do you want me on the show? And I'm like... I just want interesting people on the show. You know, that's all I've ever wanted for 30. It's not that weird for me to like talk to business owners because I've been doing it forever, right? So not having sports, I think it's weird for all of us. For you and me, before we get to Northern Pharmacy and medical equipment and all the stuff and your family, we'll get to all that. But like the rock and roll thing, like you and I are music fans, and you like your music a little even more, you know, on the harder rock side than I do. But the M3 and the things that sort of mark the years, I mean, they made Merriweather really nice. Like I want to go, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I had Stones tickets next week in San Diego. I had a flight. Peter hates flying, but he's never been to Southern California. I was going to take him to Laguna Beach and introduce him to girls and do stuff. You know, fish tacos.
Yeah.
We're gonna. And that's, but the Pearl Jam thing 7-8 weeks ago,
oh my God.
when Pearl Jam like canceled the tour, I remember people, F Pearl Jam, you can't believe it. And then 3 days later, everything's canceled, right? So like, but I mean, not going to a concert, getting on a plane, not going to a sporting event, not watching a ball game, not having the Preakness in 2 weeks. Like,
I know.
All of this is so weird for young people like us, Pep, right?
It is. I mean, this is all we've known.
It has really messed with my whole... It feels a little imprisoning, you know, to some degree, and you can't hug people and all this stuff. But for you and what you do at Northern Pharmacy, give me a little just like... You know, we're big boys and girls here. We've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, you know, we've seen Guns N' Roses get back together and be good.
Know.
You know, like we haven't seen this. Give me a look at your place, because I mean, I've been in your place so many times, and my mom at the end of her life, and for older people and who are very, very vulnerable right now, and where you are and where you've been located 80 years, and customers you've had since you were little Karen, probably to some of the customers, right?
Absolutely. So. We're a neighborhood community pharmacy.
You are Baltimore Positive. Like that's what you are, man.
We've always been that since I was a little girl. That's the culture that my father created. Is we're all family inside the store, and we take care of your families outside of the store. So it's we've maintained that core value of keeping everything family-like, family-oriented. We're very committed to customer service.
Well, I saw that when I walk in with my 92-year-old mother 10 years ago, right? I mean, you took one look at my mother, 5 people descend upon my mother. They're sitting her down. They're walking her around with the right way. And she winds up getting a walk. She's a little lady. I mean, my mom was 4'8". She weighed 75 pounds, So,
so cute.
Having a walker that's built for a little girl, which is like her size, Yeah, I mean, you guys were just... you'll make me cry. It was top notch, man. But I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. That is what we strive for every day. Seriously, is just to help people live a healthier, better life. This coronavirus has, thrown everybody off kilter. I mean, it came in like a storm. Basically, you think you're prepared for something, and you realize, oh my God, we've got to send people home. So it was a lot of running around at first, getting laptops for people. We didn't have to do this. We wanted to keep it safe inside so that we could keep our, all the family members that work here to be able to still work. And then we went to curbside, definitely curbside to start with.
Well, and in your business, there's work to do, right? Like, I mean, there's a lot of places that thought, can I be open? Am I a drive-through? What am I? I had all those business owners on, all my friends. I mean, Dave Rather reopened down at Mother's this week. And, so I have all these friends trying to hold to get my Pizza John's friends were shipping pizzas. And I went in there this weekend, and they have, plastic up now like the supermarkets. So everybody's had to change a little bit. But, like, from the beginning, I mean, you knew you had to stay in business. You're a pharmacy, for crying out loud.
Right. And we're not just a retail pharmacy where, the general public would come in. We're also a specialty pharmacy where we take care of oncology patients and HIV patients and rheumatoid arthritis. And then we are also a long-term care pharmacy. So we take care of a lot of the developmentally disabled homes in the state of Maryland. And then
you're that kind of place. If I need a drug for the rest of my life, I better know who's giving it to me, and I better make sure that they have it, that I know them, right? I mean, that's you've built an 80-year brand on that. It's more important than it's ever been now, right?
Yeah, and also we wanted, we're local. We want to keep the money in the community. So if we would have closed, that's a lot of money lost to this community, to the community of Baltimore City. So there wasn't even a choice but to stay open. So we did the curbside service. I can't even tell you that the Northern Pharmacy family team came together so amazingly to make all of this work.
How many people work for you?
It made me cry. There's about 148 of us.
Whoa!
Yeah, I didn't. In 3 buildings, yeah. So we have a
your little thing here says president, COO. I would have said, maybe 50, 60. But, I've been in your place. But I don't see what goes on behind the walls, right? I mean,
and there's a building up the street that's a closed-door pharmacy that does the long-term care pharmacy. So there's
that never sees the public, right?
Yeah,
okay.
You wouldn't see them. And you wouldn't see what's upstairs here either, although right now there's very few people upstairs because they're all working from home. We had to change our business overnight, literally. So we went to curbside, which I have to tell you, everybody has been very patient. The customers have been patient. It was a little, at first it's a little weird.
I've had a couple bad. I've only been out a couple times, and and I had a bad experience in aisle 9. Dude wouldn't social distance and started getting belligerent with me, and I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to buy some dark chocolate chips for my wife here. Just give me a minute. I need to try to figure out dark chocolate from milk chocolate from stevia, and my wife's diabetic, you know what I mean? So I had that. And then, I saw some belligerence at one of my sponsor locations, which really upset me from a, you need to leave.
Right.
You're the kind of customer we can't have in here right now, and I can only imagine where, you got drugs, people need them in all sorts of ways. And people are everybody's on edge, right? Everybody's a little on edge to begin with, right?
Absolutely. So it doesn't make it any easier. But we have it very laid out here. There's lines that you need to stand on. We have somebody at the door that is guiding people as to what they need to do per the governor's new ruling, although we all wore masks and, at the front before that ruling came over. Now we're letting people in the store. So you have a choice of curbside or limited number. We're allowing 4 people at a time, 2 in each department, to come in, 2 in the medical equipment and 2 to go into the pharmacy.
And you have a huge showroom there, yeah.
Yeah, we do. So we needed them to come in. It became not a struggle, but it became it got to the point where it's like people need wheelchairs. And
I mean, I can't imagine. Like, I mean, I had a 98-year-old mother. You know this. Like,
Yeah.
if the day that the wheel on her scooter broke, that wasn't like we'll get to that on the weekend. You know what I mean? That was like Pepper. It's 11:30 on a Tuesday morning, and my mom's 94,
and needs that.
And like I need to get her. Like I need to like come over today. You know what I mean? Like, and that would be the case, COVID or no COVID, snowstorm or no snowstorm, hurricane or no hurricane, right?
Yeah,
literally.
absolutely.
And I ain't mail ordering, my mom's wheelie, right? I mean, like I'm airmailing my mother into the back seat and bringing her over because that's what you have to do, And I'm. It's so hard for people to understand, you know what I mean? Like taking care of a 98-year-old woman, you know what I mean? Like that what that entails for anyone in normal times, let alone right now.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. Being a caregiver is the hardest job in the world. Like making sure that somebody is well or safe enough, and then to go through it now, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I thought about that when my wife had leukemia the second time. The first time it was bad enough. Then Freddie Gray happened, right, in the spring.
Right. And
I thought to myself, oh, my God, what if my wife were there and I were here and I couldn't get there? And, oh, my God, right? And then 5 months later, she got leukemia again. But I think about in these times, even semi-elective surgeries, all the things that you're dealing with. And aftercare, 20% of our beds right now in this city are COVID patients this minute. And we got the convention center 2 blocks from me open. From your perspective and the fear of all of this and the virus and the bacteria and all these things that float around and misconceptions and people think they can't get it. People don't know how it's transmitted. You're not a doctor, but like you have to play one a lot of days, right? For a lot of people. What do you make of this as someone who's doled out drugs for people to save their lives and cure them and do all my wife's leukemia drugs? This is the damnedest thing, right? This is the thing we always knew could come and get us, but we never thought about it. And clearly, the knucklehead running the country doesn't know a virus from bacteria at this point. Doesn't have 8th grade science. For the general populace to come in and say, "Pepper, give me a pill for this," right?
Yeah. So there is no pill, obviously. We all know that. And I'm not a pharmacist, so I wouldn't be able to even recommend any treatment. But from everything that I have read and everything that we have practiced, to me right now, stay safe, socially distance, wash your hands. Just wash your hands often enough. Keep antibacterial gel on you so that if you touch something, you can then use it on your hands. Do not touch your face. And I have to tell you, I touch my face 50,000 times a day.
Gotta stop.
I know. You don't realize it. You don't even realize that you've done it your whole life until something like this happens and you're like, oh my God, do I really touch my face that much?
The weird thing for me is when this happened in the beginning, my wife and I, the first day we looked at each other, she got her masks out, she got her gloves out, we got our Purell out. You know what I mean?
Right.
It was literally back to 2014 again when she was Bubble Girl, So for us, it's not that much of a weird. My wife has gotten on many airplanes wearing a mask, and we spent time in Asia back in December and saw lots. Culturally there, it's what you do, and culturally here now, when Mr. Newsman comes on with the mask every day,
right?
Everybody except the idiot vice president walking around the cancer ward at the Mayo Clinic without a mask on, which really pissed me off. There's a lot of things that piss me off, Pep, but people who don't take this seriously in aisle 9 really piss me off because, I don't want to bring it home to my wife. I've seen my wife almost die twice. I watched my mother gasp for her last breath of her life. I get what this disease is doing to people, and we do want everybody to stay safe. And it has been such a whirlwind for someone in a medical field, even right, to think that this was going to come down the line. It's just none of us were prepared for this.
No. And I don't know how prepared we'll be moving forward because there is no valid treatment and there is no vaccine yet. So this is kind of I don't know that this stringent is our new normal, obviously.
But we're not going to see GNR this summer, which sucks.
No, I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen unless you're required to wear like a face shield and a mask into the show and gloves.
So what are your 3 bands that you're when they come back, what are the bands that you have to, because I have never really pegged your musical taste. By the way, Pepper Mintz is here. She's the COO of Northern Pharmacy and Medical Equipment, president as well. When she's not taking care of people like my mother and doing the drug thing and the pharmacy thing and the curbs, I think she's a rock and roller. So go ahead, give me the 3 bands for you, because I'm trying to. I always say GNR, but sometimes I throw things at you.
Metallica's definitely number one.
Metallica's one, right? Because you were at the show at the stadium, right?
I was, yeah. Awesome.
Not amazing. The show. You were at the pre-show show, right? Did you not do didn't they do like a sound check for like 100 people?
Yeah, I did not go to the sound check. I don't know. I wasn't. You know, my memory goes when you're 54.
They did a sound check and I'm not a Metallica guy. Isn't that craziest thing? Like,
oh my God.
I've only seen them once. I saw them open for Ozzy Osbourne on a night that there was a lightning storm in the summer of 86, 87.
Wow.
And Ozzy got shut down. Stevie Nicks played that night at the Capitol Center, same night. Her. Yeah. So, see, you love Stevie Nicks. Okay.
I do, but she's like my top 3 would be. Well, my top 2 are definitely Metallica and then Guns N' Roses.
Okay.
And then, you know, there's this, I like country also, but I like more of that rock country. There's a band called Cadillac 3.
Well, I'm going to Google them and see how hillbilly they are.
They're
to see
a
whether
little bit GNR meets country.
So they're Kid Rocky kind of, sort of?
Yeah, they're that country rock.
I love country rocks. I'm like the Black Crowes guy. And
I love Black Crowes.
So, have you seen like Marcus King yet? Are you into that?
No.
Google Marcus King.
Okay.
You'll dig I mean, if you dig Southern rock, if you love the Allman Brothers, you'll love Marcus King. You know, okay. I mean, so
I'm going to Google him.
Marcus King Band. Yeah, he's a prodigy. Saw him play at Soundstage and just blew my mind. He's just really. He played guitar in Chris Robinson's little side act last year when they went out and shook their ass and did some Crows songs. So yeah, you know the Crows thing. I read Gorman's book, which is fun. If you love the Black Crowes, here's your homework, Pepper.
Okay.
The Black Crowes book. You want to get Steve Gorman's book.
Steve Gorman. I'm literally.
Steve Gorman's from Maryland. He's the drummer.
Yep.
Yeah. He's from Severna Park. He's my buddy. He wrote a book on the Black Crowes. It's called Hard to Handle. I read it on my flight to Asia, and it was just phenomenal. The best rock book I've read in 20 years. Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Did you read? And I am a Chili Peppers fan to a point.
Okay.
Did you read? What was his book?
No, I didn't read it.
I have to tell you,
Kiedis' book.
Great book.
I'm going to Google that and find out
what
it was called.
Phenomenal.
It's Scar Tissue.
Yes. It was a phenomenal book.
My wife loved Ozzy's book. She read a lot of Keith's book. I didn't. I've read Come As You Are. You know, I've read some Zeppelin books, Nirvana books.
Zeppelin would be my next. That would be my third band for sure.
You know what I did last year or 2 years ago was fantastic? My wife and I were watching a CBS Sunday morning show, and they had this David Bowie art exhibit at the Brooklyn Museum, right, in New York. And it was closing in like 2 weeks. That morning at 9:30 in the morning, we're having coffee and French toast, and I'm like, I want to do that. And I went online, and it was like closing like in 15 days. And it was all sold out except for the last 3 showings on the last Sunday it was open. And we like put the $40 down, and we bought it, and we went up, and it was like, we saw about 6 months later, we went to London and we saw the Pink Floyd one.
Oh my God.
It was the weekend that the Ravens played in London, and we did that with John Modell. It was the night before the game. We did it with John Modell, and it's this gigantic. It's an art exhibit, and it's got all of the clothing and the gear and the set list and the videos, and you wear the headset, and you walk into the room, and there's the wall, and you're listening to...
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
I can't even imagine.
If you can do... and they travel. I mean, the Bowie one's been in Amsterdam, it's been in Paris. But if you get a chance to do... And find out who the curator... Whoever puts that thing together is so good at doing that. Whenever they do that for Springsteen or that for Metallica, you'll definitely want to do it. But
absolutely.
But I'm a rock and roll nut. Have you done the 10 album thing, Pep? No.
No, what's that?
Well, I keep getting challenged. I mean, do you know Dave Geller? Geller. Everybody knows Geller. Geller challenged me, and I'm going to challenge him. I'm going to tag him on the video. Because everybody knows Geller. Geller wants my top 10 life-changing albums. And I wrote him back. I'm like, am I that interesting, bro? I mean, is it? He's like, you were the longtime music critic of The Sun, and you changed musical taste, and everybody knows you're a music guy. And I'm like, All right. I mean, I'll do it. So, I mean, I started to put these together. Can I read a couple to you?
Sure, please do.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you a long thing, but so I'm giving this away. So, Geller, here you go. Geller, and he wants me to do it with no words. I'm like, I'm a freaking writer. Why am I doing it if I'm just putting the cover of the album up, okay?
Right.
So I'm not going to give you any words. I'm just going to give you the albums, and I'm going to write about these in my own way and how they changed my life. Ooh. Are you ready?
Yeah.
So I was born in 1968. What year were you born?
66.
Oh, so you're a little older than me, but we're the same. I graduated 85, so we're the same thing.
Okay.
So I'm going to give them to you in order that in my mind, and there's something missing, which is why I haven't released these, okay?
Okay.
Ready? Kiss Alive, Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, my God.
Boston 1.
Yes.
Rush Moving Pictures.
100%.
Journey Escape. AC/DC Back in Black.
Oh, my God.
The Cars' Greatest Hits on CD, and it's important because it was the first CD I ever bought.
Ah.
So that dates it in 1984. REM, Life's Rich Pageant.
Uh-huh.
Smithereens, Especially for You. Bruce Springsteen, Tunnel of Love. U2, The Joshua Tree. Mm-hmm. The Bodines, Home.
Oh, my God.
Depeche Mode, Violator.
Yes.
Nirvana, Nevermind. And then later in my life, Bruce Springsteen, The Rising, and U2, All That You Can Leave Behind.
Those are good ones.
That's not 10.
1, 2.
Yeah, it's like 14.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to figure out if something needs to be added or subtracted, for what reason, and then to tell the stories of those albums. Right. Good?
I think I would start with the Jackson 5. What was their first album? Was it the Jackson 5?
Was it the one with ABC?
Yeah.
See, you're a little older than me.
That was my first concert.
Okay, you went to see the Jackson 5. My first concert was Sean Cassidy.
Oh, my second was the wait a minute. Oh my goodness.
I did Frankie Valli at Painter's Mill.
I did the Jackson 5 at Painter's Mill, and then the Partridge Family at Painter's Mill.
Oh. One of my favorite conversations of my career was with David Cassidy. Ron Furman was on a couple weeks. You know Ron, right?
Of course. I worked for him, and when I worked for him, David Cassidy played there, and Danny Bonaducci opened up for him.
I drank beer with them upstairs and hung out the whole night with Furman. We told the story.
How did I miss you?
Were you there the night that the lights went out and the Rembrandts played acoustic?
Probably. I worked there any night there was a live show.
Were you there the night the Smashing Pumpkins played for 5 people?
Absolutely.
I was there and you were there. We were.
Yes.
I went to. This is a good rock and roll story because this will. I'll name drop a little bit.
Okay.
I was in Chicago in 2001 or 2000, and now Peter would yell "Steel Wheels Tour," Bridges to Babylon. He would know the tour, right?
Right.
And I was at the United Center. It was when I was syndicated. And I was at the United Center. I bought a cheap ticket. I moved into a good ticket. And this is when the Stones were charging $350 to see him in a hockey rink. Mm-hmm. And at the end of the show, it's encore time, and I know what they're going to play. Whatever they were playing, Jumpin' Jack Flash and Satisfaction. And I went to pee in the back of the United Center, and there was. Have you seen The Shining?
Parts of it.
Do you remember when Jack Nicholson walks into the bathroom and it's the big white bat? So I walk into the bathroom at the United Center and you can hear the crowd. They're encore, you're right? And I go into the bathroom and I'm at the urinal and I'm doing what men do at a urinal. And I look to my right and a bald guy comes in and he's 3 urinals down. There's nobody in the bathroom, just me and him. It was like the scene in The Shining. And I look at him and he looks at me and we're doing what men do at urinals. And I looked at him and I'm like, you look like Billy Corgan. Like, I didn't say that.
Right.
I looked at him, I'm like, are you a pumpkin, dude? He looks at me, he's like, I am. And I said, and like right in the middle of Flight, making the yellow snow, right. I say to him, I saw you at Maxis on Broadway on Valentine's night in 1991. And he says to me, no, it was 1990, and there were 8 people there, and I know you're not lying to me. And I swear to God, we finished our business, we shook off, we rinsed off, we went back at us. It was really nice to talk to you, man. And he said, thanks, man. He fist bumped me, and we went out and shook our ass to Satisfaction. I never saw him again.
That's awesome.
But Billy Corgan, Like, so I was at that show that night. I had a broken heart that night. I had a girlfriend break up with me on Valentine's night.
Oh,
and
my God.
Yeah. And I saw this. I didn't need her. She was a bad influence on me anyway. Who needs a girl with judgment like that? So, but I was at the Pumpkin Show that night. Yes.
I was definitely there. I was there for all of those shows. Like any show that was at Maxis, because I worked there until they stopped having music.
Well, tell Ron Furman I had you on the show and I traded up.
Well,
all right.
I'll text.
I had his daughter on too, and she was lovely and does great
God.
things. And
so I have a cute story about Brina. She must have. I have a picture of it somewhere.
Singing with Himmelman.
Yes.
He told the story.
Oh my God! I have the picture. She's got her little piano on top of his piano, on top of Peter Himmelman's piano, and they lit the Hanukkah menorah together too.
Well, I saw Himmelman down there. I had Himmelman, I would say on my show. I didn't have a show then. I was a reporter then. I wrote about Himmelman. So there you have. Well, Pepper, it's been better than even you thought it was going to be, right? That's what they all say.
Absolutely.
Tell everybody what you do, who you are, and why Northern Pharmacy is important.
We are, wow, that was a lot of questions in one. Northern Pharmacy Medical Equipment. We are a family-owned and operated pharmacy.
80 years.
Yeah, it's been here for 80 years. My father's owned it for 52 years. So we know, I know nothing but this place. Basically, I grew up here. It is so community-oriented. All we want to do is help people live happier lives, healthier lives. Literally, we are known as, if you can't find it, call Northern Pharmacy, because we can find you anything. That is definitely what people, when you say, what do you think about Northern Pharmacy? That's the comment that comes out of their mouth. And we are, your pharmacist knows you in a community pharmacy. They really do. They know you. They know your family. They know your parents. They know your grandparents. It's people.
You knew my mom.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So that's how community pharmacy works. It's the community. There's the name community in the word in the whole sentence there. So we like to build a better community. And it keeps the money in the community. When you shop local, I know that's everywhere now. When you shop local and
you're going to be really impressed that it's on the screen already when you see the video. You're going to think it's cool. You're going to like my jacket too, Pep, but
awesome.
But it says here, keep calm and stay local. Because WNST, as you know, it doesn't get any more local. We're not Entercom. We're not Clear
love that
Channel.
you're doing, the positive, Baltimore Positive. Like, it is such a time right now where people are, from the anxiety, could go a different route, and doing everything we can to keep this time positive. I've learned so many things. I'm not saying that I want to do this all over again, but, there are a lot of positive things that have come out of this entire quarantine event, and a lot of great things of how to connect with people, how to, you listen more now. You're not in a rush to do things.
Well, you know what's going to be great when it's all over with is I'm going to come over and I'm going to show you the Rush belt buckle my wife got me.
Oh, my God.
I'm gonna you can touch it if you want. It's like a hologram. It's just like we had at the skating rink back in the day. If you know what I'm talking.
My God.
Yeah,
the skating rink. Nobody skates anymore.
I have my original Led Zeppelin belt buckle from KB Toy Store, and I always tell my wife that I wanted the Van Halen one and I wanted the Rush one, so she found the thing online, and it turns out it's not the exact one from that era, but you can get that one. So I always wanted the one that had Yes on it because the Yes logo was cool, right?
Yes
I always wanted the Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band one. So yeah, you and I will get together. Look, we'll do some classic rock. Next time we get together, here's your homework for you. Okay. Next time we get together, I want you to tell me how people that can't afford their drugs, how you try to help them, because I know that's the next thing. We're talking about food shortages here. We're talking about food deserts and people can't get foods and food. I think the next thing that's going to happen here when people can't pay their bills is people have drugs and they need them to live. And that's your homework. You're not going to solve all the world's problems, but next time I have you on, we're going to talk about that, all right?
You got it.
Peppermint, she is the president, COO, and chief cook bottle wash. She does it all over there. Her dad, her family, they've been doing it in Northern Pharmacy for a long time. And give them some love. They are local. And she's a GNR fan. She'll pick her third band before it's all. Cadillac 3. I mean, the things you learn doing this show, Nasty at WNST.net finds me. The buyatoyota.com audio vault's there for all of the stuff that we do here. The Baltimore Positive Repository. All of our chats. Dr. Freeman Rabowski, Kurt Schmoke. We talked to Scott Schellenberger. We've talked to Brian Frosch about the criminal run in our country. We've done all sorts of things here. Find it all. Get on the morning newspaper. Subscribe to our text service for any breaking sports news. It's Baltimore, Smaltimore. We were all together with Danny Bonaducci and David Cassidy. We are WNST.net AM 1570. Towson, Baltimore, keeping calm, staying local, and staying Baltimore positive.